A few years ago, Kia decided that it wanted to replace a lot of its memorable names here in the US with names that start with a K and end with a number. The Optima was the first victim, being replaced by the K5, and now the smaller Forte has been replaced by a new model called the K4. Now, the K5 was honestly an excellent replacement for the Optima, and today we're going to find out whether or not the K4 does the same for the Forte. So let's start with a walk around of Kia's new compact sedan that replaces the Forte. We are looking at the K4 sedan, which is the only one available right now. There will also be a hatchback version of this car that I think is a lot better looking. I personally might want to wait for it. You'll see when we get to the back why that is. This is the latest iteration of Kia's opposites united design language. So we've got these really interesting vertical LED headlights. We also have LED taillights, so you can see it's kind of this really cool triangular shape. Looks a bit like a Cadillac CT4 light. Tell me if I'm crazy. We've got kind of a split grille here with some body color here in the middle, as well as Kia's new logo that definitely doesn't say KN, so stop Googling that. I think the color is really nice. It's this nice kind of minty green that is unique without being too aggressive. The one we're testing here is the GT line. So not to be confused with the Forte GT, this new K4 GT line is more of an appearance package. GT line basically just means sport appearance without a lot of the performance. You get 16-inch steel wheels on the base LX trim. The LXS is going to upgrade you to 16-inch alloys. The EX gets 17, and then this GT line gets 18-inch wheels that are pretty cool looking, if I do say so myself. You actually get slightly different ones on the GT line Turbo, which is basically this trim, but with a different engine that we'll talk about a little bit later. Here's where the styling gets a little bit controversial to me. We've got kind of this weird side glass. You have the hidden door handle up here on the rear, hidden in black, and this is just this very long kind of like back end. It just is a lot of body color back there. This is a very long vehicle for a compact sedan. It's 185.4 inches long and 72.8 inches wide. Now, Kia claims in its press release that that makes it the longest and widest vehicle in the compact segment, but I guess they might have forgotten, or they just don't include the Volkswagen Jetta, which is over 186 inches. Oopsie on that one, but it is still a very long vehicle, and as we'll see on the inside, it is a very spacious vehicle as well. Now, here at the back, the styling, again, it's just weird. I am usually the first person to say, okay, I kind of see what they were doing here, but I'm having a little bit of trouble getting behind this one, just with the way that it kind of slopes back and then kind of gets cut off there. The taillights, I think, are rather cool. You kind of have that light bar effect that everybody is going for with kind of this vertical look, and it kind of looks squished a little bit like the K5, but it would have been a lot better to me if they would have just made this a fastback, kind of like an Audi A7 or something like that, and it would have really completed the look for me. Now, while I think that the exterior is a little bit of a swing and a miss, the interior might be as near as a home run as Kia could possibly hit. This is a compact mainstream sedan, so you shouldn't go expecting like mega luxury, but you'll actually kind of find it here. We have a premium package. It costs about $2,000. It's included with a $900 sunroof that you have to get with the premium package. So the premium package itself is only $1,100, but you do have to get the sunroof with that. And part of what you get with that premium package is going to be this Syntex leather seats. We've got the black and white option, which I think just looks really, really cool. Very Audi-like, if I'm being honest, almost BMW-like as well. We've got GT line embossed in there with the white headrest and the white accents here. You can also get this with a black and red as well. It's about $200 extra if you want the black and red, but that does look really good as well. The standard GT line is going to come with heated cloth seats, but these Syntex seats are upgraded to a heated and ventilated seat. Ventilated seats being quite a rare option here on this compact segment. We do also have power seats and a lumbar adjustment via power as well. These are really nice things. The black and white color scheme is going to continue here on this steering wheel, which really kind of feels like it came out of something like a Land Rover. Our stop-start button is going to be all the way down here by the shifter. You can go ahead and close the door. This is a really cool looking steering wheel, and it does have some really nice buttons to it. We've got kind of these nice silver scroll knobs. We've got the little Kia logo. We have our drive mode selector down here. It really only does two things, put us into normal and sport mode. That's all it does. We do have paddle shifters as well, even though we have a CVT transmission that we will talk about a little bit later. Standard on all Kia K4s, we are going to have this 12.3-inch touchscreen. It's part of Kia's connected car navigation cockpit, the CCNC. That's definitely a good acronym right there. But it's actually a really good system. It's got wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. It's very fast, very responsive. I like this menu layout. Looks like it could be in a Genesis. And then we have plenty of physical buttons below it. We have shortcut keys for media, map, home. We have a volume scroller, which is really nice as well. We have temperature, up, down, mode. We have fan speed, up and down. We do also have this smaller screen right here. It is a 5-inch climate screen. And as you can see, you can change things like where the fan is going by clicking this little logo. You can also change the fan speed here. Don't really know who's going to use that when these are just as good, if not better. But it is there, always available, no matter what screen you're on, even if you're on Apple CarPlay. We do also have a digital gauge cluster on EX trims and higher. The lower trims are going to have kind of a smaller 4-inch screen with, I believe, regular gauges. You can also change the style of these gauges as well. If we go to setup, cluster theme, and I click simple, you'll see that they'll change into this kind of futuristic where you have the RPMs in like this weird decimal. You can link it to the drive mode with the styles. And here's kind of an interesting thing. You have style A, which is going to be your normal mode, and you have style C, which is red for sport mode, and you can just leave those up all the time. Or you also have style B, which is green, but there's no way to access the green if you link it to the drive mode. It almost makes me feel like they were gonna put an eco mode and just didn't, but you can make it green if you so choose. Now, other parts of that $1,100 premium package, besides the Syntex ventilated seats, we also have driver seat memory, 1 and 2 positions there. That is really nice on a premium car like that. It is also going to do the mirrors, and then the glass up front is going to be replaced by a quieter acoustic glass, which is really nice. And then we do also have a Harman Kardon audio system. So 4 speakers is what you're going to get on the base LX trim. The mid trims, the LXS, the EX, and the GT line are all going to have 6 speakers, or if you get that premium package, you're going to upgrade to an 8-speaker Harman Kardon audio system that's pretty good for an affordable car. It's optional here on the GT line. I believe it is standard on the GT line Turbo. We also have some nice storage. We have our wireless phone charger right here, 2 USB-C ports. You can actually click to change this one from a data connection to just charging. We have our shifter right here with an auto hold feature. And then I do really love Kia's cup holder arrangement here. Hyundai does this as well, where these cup holders kind of spin out like so you can kind of tuck them away and have more open storage, and then click, you can get your cup holders back. I did mention while we were walking around the K4 that this is a very long car, and that is going to yield us some very impressive legroom. Right now I have the seat pretty far back, and you can see I can easily fit behind myself, no problem. We've got 38 inches of legroom, which is funny because that number stands out because I just reviewed a Land Rover Range Rover Sport, which was 130 grand, and it too had exactly 38 inches of legroom. Now, we don't have air vents back here. A lot of vehicles in this segment don't. I do appreciate that we do at least have 2 USB-C ports as well, and a nice armrest with cup holders. The trunk space is also pretty good, despite not having the biggest opening in the segment. We've got 14.6 cubic feet of space back here. That's actually 0.4 cubes more than you get in this vehicle's sister car, the Hyundai Elantra, but it is ever so slightly less than you get in the Honda Civic, which is a pretty massive car. Now, you can or will soon be able to get the Kia K4 as a hatchback that should be maybe not that much bigger in terms of overall cargo volume, but it will have the ability to fold the seats down and have kind of a more open area. I personally prefer the styling of the K4 hatchback, so that is the one I would choose when they are both available. Now let's get out on the road, where in a surprising turn that I honestly can't remember the last time this happened, an automaker has sent me not the most powerful engine that they have in one of their models. We have the 2-liter normally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, 147 horsepower, 132 pound-feet of torque, going out through what Kia calls an IVT, an intelligent variable transmission. It's a CVT, it's a continuously variable transmission. They don't quote a 0 to 60 time, so let's figure out what we can get. Foot on the brake, foot on the gas, and very slow off the line. Ooh, there you go. Come on. And we're there. That was 0 to 60 in a riveting, you could tell from my face and my silent demeanor, 9.58 seconds. That is, I don't know if that's the slowest I've ever tested, but that's certainly down there. This is definitely not a quick car by any stretch, but you can get a much more powerful engine if you get the GT line Turbo. So it's similar to the car we've been driving, except it does have some extra features. You can get a 360-degree camera. You can get the blind spot view monitor. You get highway driving assist too. Kia's like really good assisted driving software. We do have really good lane keep in this, but not HDA2. And that's going to replace the 2-liter engine with a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that now makes 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. Now, you might be saying, Jared, wait a minute. Didn't the old Kia Forte GT make more than that? You're right, viewer. It had 201 horsepower, and I think it was still 195 pound-feet of torque. But remember, that was a GT. This is a GT line turbo. I still believe in my heart of hearts that Kia is going to bring back the GT, the K4 GT. I'm hoping that it has the same engine as the Hyundai Elantra N, so we're talking like 270 horsepower. We're talking a dual clutch transmission rather than the 8-speed automatic, because the old Forte GT did have a dual clutch, and it was available with a manual. Do I know if Kia is going to do a manual this time around? I don't know. I really hope they do. I think that would be a really, really fun thing. Kia, listen up to this video. But even if they just do a dual clutch with around 270, 275-ish horsepower, all of the stuff that you get in the Elantra N, and you pick that K4 hatchback that I mentioned, now we're really talking, because the Elantra N is only currently available as a sedan, so Kia could offer something different by offering the K4 GT only as a hatchback. But this might not be the sportiest car, but it's pretty nice to drive. I'm not going to lie. We do have independent rear suspension at the back. You get a torsion beam on the non-GT models. And when I have the drive mode in sport, it really does change up the steering quite a bit. If you've been in any Hyundai or Kia vehicles lately, you know they like to do a little bit heavier steering in sport mode. It's pretty precise. It has a little bit of a dead zone on center, but it really weights up nicely. I've been loving what Kia has been doing with the steering in a lot of these cars, and this is a pretty lightweight car. It's not heavy by any respect, so you can kind of just toss it around these corners here. The tires are certainly not optimized for this type of driving, but remember, this is a commuter car. This might be a GT line, but remember, GT line doesn't necessarily mean sporty in terms of speed. It more so means sporty in terms of appearance. And I think Kia has really nailed that balance, because this is a very comfortable car. It does have a little bit of kind of a low frequency rumble to it when you're driving around, but it is still a very quiet cabin, a very compliant ride. And like I said, it's not gonna suck your soul out commuting in this car. Yes, I know it is a CVT, but I mentioned earlier that this is an intelligent variable transmission. And that sounds like marketing mumbo jumbo BS if I'm being a little bit more forward, but there is some truth to it, because when you're not at full throttle like I was during that launch, it does these really nice facsimiles of a shift. It's actually one of the more aggressive fake shifts that I've really ever felt from a CVT. Now, when you are full throttle, when you do the 0 to 60 launch that I did earlier, you really don't feel the aggression. But when you are just kind of accelerating normally, so let me slow down, bring the car back up to speed now, foot on the throttle. There's the shift. Hear that? It really does sound like it is running through gears in a way that is, scarcely believable. If you're not like a true car enthusiast, you probably won't even tell that this isn't just a CVT. But then when you are just driving normally, it keeps the RPMs low, it keeps them smooth. Sometimes you need to get up in those high RPMs to move. As we said, this is not a particularly fast car, but this is one of the better CVTs. They've gotten a bad rap. You know the reason why. But Kia's CVT specifically is actually a really good one. And if you're shopping in this class, you probably care about fuel economy. The K4 is not the best in the segment. I wish Kia would offer a hybrid version like Hyundai does with the Elantra hybrid, but still pretty good. If you get the base LX trim, you're going to be looking at 30 mpg city, 40 on the highway, 34 combined. Those numbers go down 1 in each category, so 29 in the city, 39 on the highway, 33 combined with the LX, EX trims, and GT line trims. And then of course, if you get the GT line turbo, more power, those numbers go down to 26 in the city, 36 on the highway, and 29 combined, but could be a worthy trade-off if you want something that is a little bit less slow. So that's gonna wrap up our time with the 2025 Kia K4 sedan. And let's go over pricing. You're gonna be looking at just under $22,000 for the base LX trim level, that is before destination. $23,000 if you want the tongue-twisting LXS model. The mid-level EX, that's the one that I probably recommend to the most people. It just gets you a lot more features, and it still isn't that expensive at just under $24,000. Now the GT line, the one that we have been driving, the non-turbo GT line, starts at just over $25,000, but you do have to add that premium package with the sunroof for about $2,000. Now that is going to put us pretty close to $30,000 with destination. You're looking at about 28 or 29 grand, but I think that is a really good value for a very well-equipped car with tons of features that is very comfortable, but as I mentioned, not very fast. If you do want the speed, the GT Line Turbo is available for just over $28,000. So it's a little under a $3,000 upgrade if you want the turbocharged engine. But then there is a $2,200 tech package that you need to kind of bring it up to the same standards as this. You're still looking at a little over $30,000, which I think is a great value. And me personally, I think I'd be willing to make the small trade-off in fuel economy to get the extra power of the turbo. I think overall, Kia did a great job with the K4. It's very spacious, very comfortable, filled with tech features. The one thing is, do you like the styling of it? Because it is very divisive, especially here at the rear end. Honestly, you might want to wait for that hatchback version. I think the hatchback just looks way better than the sedan, and I just prefer a hatch overall. We don't have pricing for the K4 hatchback just yet, but I imagine it won't be that much more than the K4 sedan, and I am really hoping that Kia surprises us all and gives us a sportier K4 GT variant, because this thing with this styling is just demanding more power, something to go against the Elantra end. But please, Kia, make it a hatchback. I think that would just be so cool. Let me know in the comments, would you buy the Kia K4 over options like the Honda Civic and the Toyota Corolla? I want to hear from you in the comments, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to be alerted of our latest videos. I'll see you next time.